Hey, what is up? It is Dan McDonald. Today we're going to talk about parasites, but before we do, I wanted to let you know that I went through all of those cheeses. I had about 10 jars of cheese in the refrigerator, and I went through and opened them up and took a bite of each one, and each one was absolutely epic. They were all different, but the truth is, none of them are as good as this one. This is literally the best cheese I've ever had, this particular batch right here, for whatever reason. I'm about to have some breakfast just because I'm going to need the fuel after not sleeping last night. So I've got my final lemon ginger blast in the fridge. Perfect timing, right? I make like a gallon of that at a time, and it's been several months since I had probably 6 weeks since I had made a lemon ginger blast, and then I was on a juice cleanse. I kind of broke it now just because, you know, what happened last night. I had a nice salad with some avocado just to try to help me to sleep, but it didn't work. So anyways, I got the lemon ginger blast, and hopefully I get settled some more and I can get back on the liquid path. You know, I feel really good on liquids. I mean, you stay skinny as hell, but you stay energized and your mind stays relatively clear. So it's pretty cool. But I just had been on the lemon ginger blast kick for the last couple weeks, so I'll make like a gallon at a time. Oh, this was, so I was just gonna talk about the parasites, but I was wondering what the heck I ordered. I like to order once, about every 2 months, every other month I'll make an order. I got the cleanse powder here. I still have about a half of one. The other thing too, by the way, is I ordered, everybody wants to know about the 1,000 count bag. They're actually out of stock until about the middle of next month. But if you order a 1,000 count bag, you're gonna get the 500. They're gonna send you 2 500 caps. You know? So actually it's kind of a good deal because it'll stay fresher and it's sealed. You know, a cool, dry place is the best for the enzymes. Most specifically the probiotics in the fridge, because I've had the probiotics and I took them out to when I was driving around the hot desert, and just even a few days of the probiotics in the heat, it just ruins them. So take really good care of your probiotics. You know, before they're opened, a cool, dry place is fine, but once you open them, it's good to put them in the fridge. And then this is what I'm going to be featuring today, is the herbal blood. And then I've got another Parasite. Just to keep myself going whenever I get where I'm going, I want to get back on the juice because I'm trying to master the protocol myself. You know, the discipline of it, the focus, the system. And it works really well. If you could see, you know, my stomach, my guts, my digestion, my brain feels pretty good. I mean, I'm exhausted today, but overall I feel really, really well for a gentleman my age. And you know, yeah, I don't even want to talk about that, but I've had a lot of stress the last few months, but I'm gonna go somewhere, and with green juice and enzymes and Morocco method, I'm gonna reverse the gray hair again. But today I was talking about the parasites. And so the great parasite protocol is right there. A lemon ginger blast with jalapeno, habanero, Thai chili, whatever you got, the ginger and all the herbs. I'll make a rundown for you just because someone will probably want to know what it is. Apple, celery, cucumber, fennel, mint, dandelion, arugula, a lemon, ginger, and a habanero. And then you can vary it, but that's the DTM one that's been perfected over the years, you know what I'm saying? So that's the end of that. Nice to have another box. But today's, that's the parasite protocol. You know, the parasite protocol is just lemon ginger blast or other green juices, you know, and the herbal blood, which you know, you've heard me say it a million times, you know, kills the worms and their eggs. So you can look on the website and you can read the herbs here. Obviously, you know about the wormwood, the black walnut hull, you know, the garlic, and several other really powerful herbs, you know, and it goes in there and they just don't like it. And so whatever plaque they're living in, because it's plaque, biofilm, mucus, and it's a waxy kind of thing, but there's varying degrees to the mucus. There's healthy mucosa, which is a thin, clear layer of lubrication. Yes, you want that. But then after that, with all the different craziness in the food, I'm not even gonna start demonizing specific foods, but it's mostly all of it leaves some type of residuals. You know, that's why raw food is really good, fruit is really good, nuts are a low mucus food, but then when you start cooking stuff, you start coagulating it. You've heard me say all this a million times before, and then you start changing the food's molecular structure, and that's when you create longer carbohydrates that are hard to break down and leave layers, proteins that leave layers, and fats that bind together and leave these thick layers that over time, layer, and then after a while, it can get dehydrated. You know, so there's the varying layers, and it just gets thicker and harder and drier and crustier. And so it's a progressive acid saturation biofilm, you know, just thick waste matter that cakes up all throughout. It's small, you know, it's small, but it's significant when it comes to circulation. You know, help people get stiff and their muscles and stuff aren't as flexible because those acids and those layers of mucus, but it's mostly from the mouth to the anus, in the liver, in the pancreas, in the kidneys, which then slows down the adrenals, slows up the thyroid, blocks up the pancreas, and then diabetes. So, and then once you get a bunch of debris in there and you're not getting enough sunlight and enough oxygen, that's when they start to grow and proliferate, whether it's the candida, the worms, or many other different, you become the host to many other dysbiotic microorganisms that are there to try to actually help keep you alive. And like I've said it a million times, it's their poop, it's their waste matter that actually makes your brain fog, makes you feel like crap, makes you depressed, makes you have a doomy gloom. Like the whole world is like doom and gloom. They're like, it's the end of the world. I'm like, it's not gonna end. There's not even a problem. They're like, well, there's so many problems. Don't you see the problems? You're spiritual bypassing. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm spiritualizing. It's perfection. You get to make it. You get to see what you want to see. And this thing here has a profound effect on what goes into your bloodstream and into your brain, and then affects the perception that you have of realities. That's why I just would continue on like a broken record, because that's what I've seen work for me. You know, when it gets, I went to the hospital, I got food poisoning. They napalmed my guts with like 20 rounds of antibiotics, okay? And it took me like 2 years to recover. And thank God for the Paradigm and just the lifestyle that I lived. It took a year for the darkness to lift and the depression. Then it took like another year to actually feel good again. So that's the importance of your gut. So I'm gonna have my breakfast. I'm gonna let you go. This is my last video in this kitchen, because I'm packing all of that right up right now. But I just wanted to do this because I just got a new shipment and I'm celebrating, you know. I want to thank everyone for taking care of yourselves, you know, and investing in yourself. And then I put these protocols together, and then it's a structure for my clients. So people just need structure. And when you do, you know, the 3 or 4 juices with Paradigm, your whole game is going to change. Trust me, because I just did 7 days on the protocol before, you know, my world crashed. I was going to keep going indefinitely, but you can see going from juicing 2 or 3 juices a day and then a salad to the protocol, to the juicing liquid protocol with just liquid and the Paradigm. The core 4, you know, the protocol, the system with the, you know, with the cleanse powder as the binder to kill the bugs, break up the biofilms and all the inflammation in your gut, and then use the probiotics to, you know, re-inoculate and keep you super happy. It's a pretty dang good system. If you knew the science, you'd be blown away. And I get to listen to it from Dave and Phil and Lou, and it's pretty amazing. I've never been able to really explain it the way you do, because they work with people all day, every day, all around the world, doing, you know, all kinds of stuff, and they've been in it for many, many generations. So I'm more of a generalist. Like, this is what's happened to me, you know, and it's so basic and simple, but I think that's what makes me a decent communicator, because I don't want to talk above anybody's head, and all you got to do is have your experience, you know. So I'm going to have my final lemon ginger blast in this house, and I'm gonna move on to another adventure. And I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I am excited. I'm a little exhausted from no sleep, but I have faith. I have faith in the Lord. Can you dig it? And I know it's gonna take me to great places, that this is just the beginning for DTM. An amazing blast. I do 8 herbal blood and 8 pyrozyme. And if you have gnarly issues with candida and stuff, you can double and triple and go nuts. There'll be some die-off. I had an email this morning. She was like, I've been doing this for 2 or 3 days, I think. And she's like, I feel terrible. And I'm like, this too shall pass. I mean, that's what this life is. You don't need to learn anything else from me except for when you start offloading all the stuff you use to artificially get you through your day, and you start relying on the source and getting simple and going back and flushing out all the Doritos and the Cheetos and the pizza and the frozen rolls and the Mary calendars and the Debbie cakes and the cheesy stuff at the all-you-can-eat bar and the fast food, and you start cleaning that out. Not that's only just one perspective. Then there's the heart of, like, you're dealing with, like, people, right? And the vibe is off, and it's just like clogging up your heart. You're looking forward to being free so you can breathe again, because you can't, and so, and the mind also, like, so as you're, offloading, you're going to experience unpleasantness. And in the physical domain, you're going to experience, oh God, well, this guy's trying to kill me with this juicing. I hate juicing. These enzymes are killing me, but it's actually helping you. It's raising your frequency, which then is going to start, and you're going to be like, oh God. If you have to slow down, you slow down. I think like steamed vegetables is a great way to slow it down without stopping it. Or raw foods or whatever. There's a million different educational tools that you can have to kind of back off a little, but then DTM has always been like, just keep going, white knuckling it and learning how to deal with discomfort peacefully, learning how to deal with pain, and then learning how to embrace it. It's like, all right, we're making progress. This really, really sucks. I feel terrible. This is awesome. It's working. But we don't have that mentality in our society. We're like, oh, a little bit of uncomfort. Give me a pill. Give me some drugs. Shoot me up with something. Smoke, drink. And so it's the unpleasantness that you want to uncover and bring that up. So it's a great gift when you start cleansing or detoxing or meditating or fasting or practicing celibacy or any of your austerities, anything you're doing to improve yourself. And then whatever is in the way of that comes up, that is the time to celebrate. It's like, this really sucks. Like last night I didn't sleep. My head was moving out, messing out. I'm on Craig's, where can I live and all this crap. What should I do? Because it hit me so suddenly. I just had faith, and I have faith, and I feel good. And I feel so grateful to have this thing that I've had, which is the Life Regenerator thing with people like you. I can just talk and share all this crazy stuff. And it just means something to me. And it's like a legacy. And then if you get that, that's like the most important thing I could ever share with you, that when the shiznit hits the fan, when the physical crap is coming up, when the emotional crap is coming up, when the mental crap is coming up, and you're just like, oh, that's when you just be aware and just watch. Separate yourself from anger and pain and fear and just watch it. You're like, wow, there is an incredible amount of anxiety there. But you don't say, this is my anxiety problem. You say, it's just, wow, look at that anxiety. You are the watcher. And that allows you to be the master of the ship. You become the charioteer with consciousness, the ability to be like, I am the watcher, I am the witness. I just had to witness Dan not be able to sleep because his mind was running 1,000,000 miles a minute because he was the nervous little child, felt always unsafe, and it triggered that again, but he was there to lovingly awareness, watch, and be like, I know it's gonna be okay. We've survived everything else up to this point. love yourself, have faith in God, and trust that this is for the good. That's all you'll ever need to learn from me. There's no one size fits all, but you have to have the courage, and you have to have the faith, and you have to have the fortitude, and you have to have the forbearance. And trust me, I could use a lot of those qualities, more of those myself, but the little tiny bit that I have implemented those qualities, it has been the absolute greatest thing in my life, and I wish someone else would have taught me, but it was the great masters of old that I owe anything even to get to this point. The great masters of old, who I brainwashed myself with every day and every night for many, many hours, telling me the exact same thing I'm telling you. And then you develop that skill. The meditation has really, really helped. You are awesome. And I am grateful. And I am grateful to Puritan, and I'm grateful to my landlord, who's no longer my landlord after today. I have a backpack with camping equipment. This house is clean. I'm ready to go on to the next phase of the journey. Wish me luck. I wish you the best. I really mean it, you know? I wish everyone the best. I have no ill will towards anyone. I have no anger, no animosity. I don't hate any factions, skin colors, sex orientation, you know, all this craziness of the world and all the brainwashing to create these psyops in society so that everything is a chaos, and I just won't let myself do it. Yes, do I fall prey to it sometimes? Of course I do, but I rise up and I say, I'm not going to get sucked in. I'm going to stay with the unity consciousness. I'm going to put my own small, petty little, like, snippy, snappy aside and do the right thing, which is to look with the eyes of compassion upon myself and others. This is a hell of a journey we're on here, kids. Hell of a journey. And it ain't easy for not a one of us. So a little bit of compassion is going to go a long, long way. Mr. Emotional, maybe too much fruit. But I love you guys. Too much of that seedless hybridized fruit, which is great because the water in it's awesome, but make sure you balance your life out. If you learn anything from DTM, I learned that I've gone to every extreme there is, you know. I'm like extreme. I still have that. But in the end, I've found that, okay, just in the middle, you know, that's how you function with your day-to-day life. Just, you're not too high on the fasting, you're not too much on the food, you're just somewhere in the middle, you know, and somewhere you find that fulcrum, that center, you know, and that's what I think, and that's when we just start to flow with synchro destiny, and then things happen and it just knows what it's doing. Like the universe, God, Jesus knows what it's doing, the divine intelligence, it knows what it's doing with Dan. Dan doesn't know. All he knows is the next move is to put all this stuff in storage and then go to the beach and take a nap, and then maybe I'll be able to think clearly, and then I'll just, who knows what's gonna happen, you know? I got faith though. God has taken care of me, and I've taken care of myself, you know, because I'm a soldier, man. I'm a survivor, you know. You are worthy of love. I am worthy of love. I tried to love myself this morning. I don't know how good I did, but I realized I need to learn to love myself. Then maybe I could have a good relationship. Like, I need to love myself real good. And then maybe I can have, because who doesn't want to hold someone's hand and talk and go out to dinner? You know? Tired as hell, boy. But I got a lot of power built into me, and I'm going to get all this done easy, because I am a machine. I have nothing but love for all of you. I really appreciate all your courage and all your strength that you've applied to get yourself to this point, because it takes a lot. You, my friends, your first experience, when that sperm hit that egg, you are a winner. And you have been pumping this life, and you're still here. You are a winner. Can you dig it? I'm so excited about the future. I can feel it. Peace be with you. God bless you. Thanks for all your love and support. Peace.